Hello everyone, this is Brandon, and welcome to Bran'sTech. I really hope that everyone is doing well and is staying safe. So, over this past year and a half, I've had the absolute honor and pleasure of speaking with so many different amazing people on my Bran'sTech podcast station. And with that being said, earlier this year I've had the pleasure of being able to have 3 of my former podcast guests return and have a group interview with them. And so with this, which I call the Bran'sTech Interview Panel, we're able to speak about so many different topics. And so in this video right here, you're able to see a little bit of the video that we were able to shoot for this podcast about what got each of them interested in STEM and what STEM really means to them. This overall has been a really great experience to have, and I cannot wait for you all to see them. With that being said, please join me in welcoming today's guest, Matthieu J. Peralta, Daniel Phillips, and Carl Hayden. This episode will begin in just one moment, so please stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome to the interview panel here on Bran'sTech. I hope that everyone's been doing well. So today I have some amazing guests with me here today, and I'm actually going to give each of them a little bit of time to go ahead and introduce themselves before we go ahead and get started for today.
I guess I'll go first. My name is Daniel Phillips. I am a senior in high school, and I'm super excited to be here today.
All right, I guess we'll go next. My name's Carl Hayden. I've been on Brandon's podcast before, and I'm really excited to see this. I'm currently a freshman at a college.
All right, so I'm Matthieu Peralta, and I'm like Daniel. I'm a high school senior, and I'm honored to be here as a second-time guest. So let's get the show on the road.
I'm going to go ahead and start off with, first of all, how are you all today? I hope that everyone's been doing well.
Doing great.
Just surviving.
Surviving's a good word.
Just doing what we can in this pandemic.
Yeah. Speaking of the pandemic, it has now been 1 year since everything closed down, that everything.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary! Let's go!
Right? Yeah.
Oh boy.
So how has that been for you all?
It's been weird because of the lockdowns here. It's very interesting. I mean, we've been like staying at home a lot. There's nothing really to do. You know, you can't do anything. You can't go out with friends easily. I mean, now you can, as opposed to a couple months ago, but it feels completely different.
Yeah.
I think we're getting normal now-ish.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you on that, where it's hard to do anything. And just for me, I think personally, it's just kind of like this whole school year has just kind of been like an extension of my summer, because I feel like I haven't actually done anything different from when it was summer. Just kind of except for adding schoolwork, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of staying at home.
School's been in a lot of ways like a joke, you know. Some ways it's been normal, other ways it just hasn't. Online school is just a whole different thing.
90% of it is just awful.
Yeah.
It feels like we've been on spring break or extended spring break, right?
Just
with
for a whole year.
for an entire year. That's what it feels like.
It's purgatory.
But my mom the other day, so we have dogs. We have to go get them checked at the vet. She's like, yeah, you know, you got to go take them in so they can get their nails clipped and they can get their shots. And I'm like, wait, whoa. I did that like a month ago. She's like, no, you did it a year ago. And it finally hit. I don't know if it's like been a good year or a bad year is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been a kind of pretty bad year.
It just kind of happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we've been suspending time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, if you could just start this whole year over differently, I would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know, speaking of a year, can you believe that the last time that each of us spoke, I know the people listening don't know, but the last time that we all spoke together was actually in July of 2020.
It really doesn't seem like it though.
No, it doesn't.
It seems like just last week I got off of that, of the summer program.
That's crazy.
Time flies, man.
I do.
Sure
I mean, I don't know about you guys. It feels like it's been a year since then, man. Like I know I said it feels like we've been suspending time, but my semesters have not been fun.
Yeah. I mean, like, does anyone else feel like COVID has just kind of made the school year go by really fast. Or if,
Yes.
like for me, like as a high school, I don't know about you two college students, but as like Daniel as a high schooler, do you feel like the years just kind of whiz by? It's already spring break basically.
In the moment, it feels like it's the slowest thing ever, and then looking back on it, it was like just gone. Like I barely remember any of it.
Where did Christmas go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like super monotonous too, so like I feel like that kind of made it just kind of a blur because every day was just kind of like blending into each other,
I feel you on that one.
So I know each of us all have a pretty big interest in STEM, across the board. And so I would like to definitely take some time right here and go ahead and talk about that and explore that a little.
I guess I can go, and I'll make it as short and sweet as possible. My dad's been an IT guy since I've been born, and I have been basically always engrossed in nerddom and space and Star Wars and sci-fi and anything and everything you can think of that's like that. And I guess it was kind of a no-brainer because I was always decently good at math and decently good at science throughout school that I was going to go into STEM. And after having gone to the space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, I then kind of realized my vision for what I really, really enjoy. And then, of course, we had the VES and VAST programs that really hit home with me. And basically, they encouraged me to do and study what I am planning to study right now, which is aerospace engineering.
Kind of want to learn more about that, like by being a doctor, and maybe being even like going further and doing something like specializing. But yeah, just everything around me just kind of influenced what I wanted to do. And I'm still kind of figuring it out as I go, but I kind of have like a rough idea of what I need, or no, what I want to do.
That's actually really great to hear that for each of you, that you all have the various different backgrounds in STEM, especially like for most of you all with, I think all of you all with your parents in some capacity. I know for me, I am probably the most, I guess, tech savvy person like in my family. Technology is just it's always really fascinated me. I mean, I've always grown up with the technology around me, and so for me, it's just sort of where it's like, ooh, what does this do? So I've always been a very curious person trying to figure out, really how everything goes and, how does that work? Really, I'm just glad that I'm today surrounded by you all who are just really interested in all of this.
Yeah, I think we're really lucky in the time that we live in that it's so accessible. I mean, obviously the pandemic, things have changed and all that stuff, but like the general context of the world around us, technology permeates pretty much everything we do, everything we see. It's really STEM as a field has become more accessible, I think, to anyone than it ever has been. I mean, the fact that we did something like VAS or VES, and it wasn't like, 50 years ago, something like that would have been something that like, the richest kid on the block would get sent to by his parents or something like that. But the fact that anyone could apply for that and, have a chance at being able to participate in something that amazing is really cool. And I feel really lucky to be able to live in a time when that's possible.
We're in a really good age with the I guess introduction of the internet here 20 years ago, having that and just how much it's really impacted the world and world trade and anything and everything you can think of has been impacted by that. I mean, education here, I mean, we're all attending Zoom school, right? Zoom University. So, I mean, it's really unique to see how technology, and I think that's probably why we all enjoy STEM so much, because we can see how much of an impact it can have on the world around us, for good and bad, sadly. But yeah,
we are more dependent on technology than we have ever been in the history of all time.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Our lives cannot function as they are without the accessibility of technology that we have, the internet. Even just the fact that I'm on my computer right now, stuff like that. If we didn't have this, we'd be at a hard stop in so many ways. School would just be, out the window. It would have been completely different. So it's definitely crazy. It really is just fun to be able to learn about something that's that impactful and think I could have a career and make like a difference in a field that's doing something like that's, part of everyone's life. It's unavoidable. And I think that's really cool. This meeting, this podcast, none of this would be possible. And it just blows my mind, the fact that when you think about like everything that has to happen from point A to point B, of all the technology, all the people, all of the inventions that have had to get, my data from my microphone and my camera to your computer back home, like the process of that is unbelievable, and it's always fascinated me. And I think, that field is only going to continue to grow and become more important in the coming years for sure. That's
Wow.
crazy.
That's pretty cool. That's like
Yeah,
something to think about.
And
it's
it's
really
all
crazy.
because of how fast our internet speeds are and how efficient all of our data transfers are.
That's pretty
Unbelievably
cool.
fast. It's really crazy. Something else I heard that just blew my mind, that was like, just shows how cool and how advanced we are, as a species right now. Since we have first put people on the International Space Station, we have never had every person on Earth at the same time. Since then, the day before we put people on the International Space Station was the last time every human was on Earth at the same time. Since then, there has always been someone who is not on the planet, which just blows my mind. The fact that we've gone like so many years now, and just had people in space just floating up there. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that is just kind of mind blowing how you can just imagine like people like living, quote unquote living. They're not like, they can't like stay there permanently, but they're like
Yeah.
they're surviving up there comfortably for an extended amount of time. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and the fact that we can just say, okay, get on top of this like explosion, this controlled explosion we've made. I promise it won't explode, and you're gonna be in space in a couple minutes. Like, that's crazy. The fact that we can say that, or we just landed a rover on Mars.
Oh
You know?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that that's something that's just kind of like, yeah, that happened at this point. For some people, it's just like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, they did that.
Because I think about that like sometimes where it's like I look up at the sky and I'm just like, man, I'll never get to see what's out there for myself. Maybe like my grandkids or something, but not me.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like we think that, but like you never know. Like someone our age, like in, I don't know, 1940, right, would have been like, if the idea of touching the moon was even a thing, then they would have been like, yeah, it's going to be like my great grandkids who see that, but they could have easily been alive to see that kind of thing. Like, we never know what's going to transpire between now and in 40, 20, 40, 50 years from now. Anything could happen, and I just think it would be exciting to be a part of that. I think that's what excites me most. I think that's what excites me most about being like in the STEM field, being able to study that. It's like I could be a part of something that could allow people to touch like just distant stars or something like that. It just blows my mind.
Everybody's job, there's some sort of reason for it, right? I mean, even if you're just a janitor, right, you're making sure everything's clean. I guess I've always thought about that. I want my job to mean something in some capacity and have some impact on the human race. And I think that either working in the defense industry to help defend America, or just working in NASA, which is something I would really want to do, or working in the aerospace industry because of the fact that I could have a role in helping progress humanity past our solar system and past the confines of Earth here. I really think that's why I want to do what I want to do.
Totally agree. The fact that I could do something when I'm older that would enable that is just excites me to death, to be able to, like, a lot of people don't want to grow up and get a job, but like, if that's what I can grow up and get a job doing, then like, speed me up, please.
Yeah.
Because that would be amazing.
Really just to be able to, listen to you all. We can really tell that, we all really have a large interest within this field, and really it is so interesting to see how much really people can do, and how much was really accomplished within just the last several years. I mean, within our lifetimes, we've just seen so much technology and innovation just really sparking. And it's not even that all of this just happened just now, but it's accumulations of all the several past decades, really just it's all accumulating into the present day. And so it's just really exciting sometimes to just really see what we can do when we all are working together and all working for the same mission.
I think that is one of the coolest things about science as well, is like, doesn't care who you are, and a lot of people who are in science don't care who you are either. Like, if you're smart and you have great ideas and you're doing something amazing, like, nobody cares like who you are, what you look like, or anything like that. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things about it for me is I feel like it's one of the most progressive fields to be in, STEM, because it's so small and it's still growing, that like anyone who can contribute to it is welcome, and I think that's really cool. It's always excited me as well.
Once again, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And a big thanks once again to today's guest, Matthieu, Daniel, and Carl. It was a true honor and pleasure of being able to speak with them. And go ahead and listen to the full episode of the Bran'sTech Interview Panel anywhere you can find podcasts. Below, I went ahead and linked the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music links. And with that being said, thank you all so much once again for tuning in and watching, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll chat with you all later.